And welcome back to another installment of Big Apple Hockey's The Final Buzzer. I am your host, John Filkowski. Follow me on Twitter at 92 and 82. We have a lot to talk about tonight. The Rangers, 5 wins in a row. I have a 4 horseman shirt on, but we went from 4 to 5 now. So the Rangers come out with a big win against the Toronto Maple Leafs in the definition of a game, or in a game that would be the definition of a bend and not break. And the Rangers put together a really good effort defensively. They got outplayed at times, but they limited chances. And Igor Shesterkin was just great. I don't know what else to say really in regards to Igor Shesterkin, but other than he looks like he looked last year. But you know what time it is? Let's get on with it. Another installment of the good, the bad, and I know we did the good, the bad, and the Nemeth last year. It feels like it's going to turn into the good, the bad, and the Trouba. But yeah, we don't have a whole lot of ugly tonight. We don't have a whole lot of bad in general. But the Rangers, yeah, they got outplayed at times, but I thought that they were good defensively overall. So hello everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. But let's get on with the good stuff, because that's really all that I have. I don't have any bad tonight. But the kids come together and they score Power Play 2's first goal of the year. This is the first goal of the season, first Power Play goal of the season by anyone that's not a Power Play 1 participant. Not Zibanejad, not Kreider, not Fox, not Trocheck, and not Panarin. So I thought that they were really good on that power play. It was good to see them come together. That was some great puck movement. It really was. Kravtsov looked like he fit right in on that power play. If anything, he looks like he's there to stay. He should be on that power play. There's no reason for Gallant to take him out of the lineup. I thought Vitaly Kravtsov was really good tonight. And while I'm on there, I'll talk about Vitaly Kravtsov, because the kids were all really good. And Vitaly Kravtsov had a really good game, and there's no reason why he should be out of it. Yeah, and it's about time that Power Play 2 gets some time. They got about a minute, and they made the most of that minute, and they scored. And they showed Gerard Gallant that they should be playing. So that's really good for Power Play 2. It's really good for the kids. It's a confidence booster. I love what I'm seeing from the kids. And I agree with this. Kravtsov should be on the top line instead of Gaudreau. I'm with you there, Maddie. I really am. So great to see the kids come together on Power Play 2 and get rewarded with their ice time and make the most of it. Very, very happy to see that for the kids. This shootout between LA and Boston, by the way, if anybody's watching this right now, is literally just shootout at the OK Corral, because everything is going in. First 4 shots have all gone in on the 2 goaltenders. So it's pretty funny. Yeah, this is an interesting night to have the kids come together. They were put together recently as the team's second line, and they looked really good. And now the first save has been made in that shootout, and David Pastrnak. But yeah, I love seeing the kids get together. I love the fact that they're getting top minutes now, and I love that they actually got power play time and they produced. It's about time that these kids got the chance to prove that they can really play and do their thing out there. And they did tonight. I thought all 3 kids looked great. I thought Kakko looked great. I thought Lafreniere played one of the better games he's played all season, even though he really didn't get rewarded aside from an assist there. I thought Kravtsov played arguably his best game of the year in the limited time that he has played. And Filipino, we're going to talk about him in a little bit, just because I think he was something special tonight, I think. But we're going to talk about other things before we get there. And I just saw the comment about Jimmy Vesey from B-Ride. But Jimmy, when Goodfellas, when Henry Hill is in the shower and he's banging on the wall, Yeah, Valaket actually referenced that in the second intermission report when he was talking, and I thought that was so awesome because a mutual follow of mine on Twitter actually posted it minutes before Valaket said it on TV. So awesome to see Jimmy Vesey, who had one hell of a night. That goal was beautiful, absolutely beautiful goal, and the play. And we gotta go back to the beginning of that sequence on the Rangers side of the sequence. They're getting outplayed in their own zone, and it looks like what's going to be a pass across to a wide open player for a goal. Keandre Miller comes right across at that long length and the stick and just pokes the puck out of the zone, and it goes right to Vinny Trocheck, and Vinny Trocheck just gets into Jimmy Vesey, and Jimmy Vesey just makes a world-class move. A absolutely world-class move to score a goal there. And that's one of the nicer goals you're going to see all year. So Jimmy Vesey just, wow, what a goal, man. And then he gets the empty netter. He had a great game. He got hurt during the game, too. It didn't look good for him. He got up slowly because he went to go throw a hit, and the player ducked. But just an awesome game for Jimmy Vesey. So we're going to move on from Jimmy Vesey and the Rangers and Mitch Marner's 23-game point streak. And you know what? It's awesome because the Rangers had a real good defensive effort, and they made it a point to make sure that the top guns on Toronto did not get any points. And the one goal that was scored, Pierre Engvall should have been called for a penalty for knocking Jacob Struba's stick out of his hand and then pushing it away. So he could have been called for 2 penalties there, and nothing got called, and Filip Chytil had to go try to cover a guy in front. So that was a BS goal. Should have never happened. Igor Shesterkin should have had a shutout tonight. And LA just won in the shootout over Boston. Wow. Boston lost their first game at home? That's amazing. So we're going to move on from that. And we were talking about him before. Vintage. And I mean vintage tonight. He was just amazing. I mean, even that last one on Marner, where Marner looked like he was going to take the slap shot, and then just he made that little slow shot to try to fool Igor and throw a changeup at him, and Igor stayed right with him. So that's just awesome. Awesome to see from Igor Shesterkin. The team played well in front of him. He played well behind them. The Garden crowd was just going off for Igor Shesterkin. He deserved it. He played just probably his best game of the season, I would say. Best game of the season. And yes, Igor said niet tonight. Not net, niet. So for all you who don't speak Russian, niet is no. So Igor, the team played better in front of Igor, and I think Igor played better behind them too. So I think both the team and the goalie really did the job tonight. I definitely, I actually bookmark your comment here, Matt, because I want to talk about that a little later on when we go in the Q&A and go through the comments. And it does. You're right, B. Right. It does make a huge difference. It really does. Because when the team is playing well and the goaltender is playing well behind them, and everybody's running as a whole 20 skater unit, you can't be beaten, or at least it's very hard to be beaten at that point. And it looks like the Rangers are starting to get that back a little bit. This was 2 gutsy wins in a row this week. 2 very gutsy wins. They played hockey the right way, and they played it for closer to 60 minutes than they have all season in these last 2 games. So great effort from the team. Great effort from Igor. Igor deserved the chance he was getting all night. Filip Chytil has found that next level. You know what? You could call it a hot streak, but even when he's not scoring, he's a difference maker. He's out there, and he's just making a difference. He's making plays in his own zone, in the offensive zone. He's generating chances. He's making the defensive plays that you want to see from a first-round draft pick from 5 years ago, from 2017. I mean, 6 drafts ago now. That's crazy. But, he's getting to that point. And I think he's going to make the Rangers keep him. I really do. I think he's going to make the Rangers keep him, and the Rangers are going to want that center depth. I really think he's turned the corner, and I think he's here. I think if he had more ice time, I think the points would be there, and I think he's here. I really do. Just this gut feeling, and I know a lot of you are seeing the same things that I'm seeing. Just the maturity level is just, it's there. He understands how to be a pro. He understands, what it takes to be that next level, that upper level player on a nightly basis. He's doing the little things that it takes. And I really do think we've seen this kid mature before our eyes. And I'm loving it. Just like Diane over here, I'm loving it, McDonald's style. So, love the fact that we're seeing this from him. I just wanted to be able to rub off now on Kakko and Lafreniere, because I think Lafreniere needs to be a little more consistent. I really do think that they can kind of feed off of this from each other. And I think this is going to help all 3 of those kids. And you know what? This is going to be big, because they're going to have a cap crunch coming, and they're going to need to get production from these kids on the cheap. So, it's all about cost control and production and relevance to cost, and entry-level contracts or second deals where you're getting that upper level production for cheaper prices before you have to sign them to those big long-term deals that keep them from hitting free agency. So, we'll start this one. I just saw that. So we'll bookmark that comment. We'll get back to that from Dave. Michael, I was going to use the kids are all right headline, but I've already used that. So I can't, I don't want to use that again. And yes, please like, share, and subscribe. We would appreciate that. Absolutely appreciate that. I'm trying to give you the best hockey on the internet at Big Apple Hockey here. So please do like, share, subscribe. Word of mouth helps too, outside of the whole like, share, and subscribing. Tell everybody about us. Tell everybody about us. Let everybody know that this is the best place for hockey coverage. Or if not the best, one of the best. We'll take that too. But we do strive to be the best. So please, definitely let everybody know about us. And definitely check out our sponsor, Manscaped here. Use code BAH for Big Apple Hockey for 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped has sponsored us. We thank them. I use their products. And I know I say this every show, but I really do. I absolutely love their products. And excuse me. I use their lawnmower, their foot duster, the crop preserver, all great products. I'm probably going to need a new lawnmower soon because mine's a few years old now, but definitely love the products. They work great. And, I don't like being a Sasquatch. I can get very hairy. And Manscaped has definitely kept me over the last few years from becoming a woolly mammoth, if you will. So thank you to Manscaped for helping me keep groomed. And thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring us. We do appreciate that. So, again, code BAH for Big Apple Hockey for 20% off and free shipping. And not only that, but you got someone in your life that needs to groom up. Hey, it's Christmas season. There you go. Great gift. So I'm going to bookmark some of these other comments that I have coming in here. So this is it's a pretty good night so far with comments. You guys are coming in here hot with the comments. I'm loving it. So we're going to move on to the next thing. Keandre was key tonight. He was. I think this may have been his best game all season. I thought he was amazing. He was just so good defensively. The plays that he made, then the obviously the play to help Jimmy VC score his first goal of the game, what ended up being the game winner. Just, he was all over the place. He got beat a couple of times, and even when he got beat, he recovered. He was good on Austin Matthews, which was just great because Matthews is a handful, and he was all over him tonight. And that pairing, that Trouba and Miller pairing, got the brunt of Matthews and Nylander's ice time. So yeah, that was really good from Keandre Miller, who needed to be really good tonight, because the Rangers, if Miller wasn't as good as he was tonight, Trouba probably would have been exposed, because Trouba was not great. He wasn't a disaster this game like he's been in other games, but he still wasn't great. He still wasn't good. And Keandre Miller carried that pairing tonight. Absolutely carried that pairing. So, and yes, please leave a like for the best Rangers post game on YouTube. I'd appreciate that. Thank you, Marc. And thank you, everybody, for coming in here. Appreciate you all with me. Moving on from Keandre, Fox and Lindgren, I thought, had their best defensive game of the year as a pairing. I thought they were really good drawing the Marner and Tavares line matchup. They were great against them. They were really good. They shut that line down. They were all over them. I didn't see any mistakes that they made tonight defensively. I did not find one mistake that they made defensively. They didn't have any trouble clearing the puck, especially late in the third. I saw a comment before saying to the Rangers have got to be better getting the puck out of their own zone, especially late in the third. Fox and Lindgren made like 3 or 4 really good plays in the second half of that third period, that if they didn't make those plays, Toronto would have had sustained offensive pressure in the defensive zone, and they may have tied that game. So Fox and Lindgren on point tonight defensively. And you know what? Even though Fox didn't get a point in this game, just great play defensively from him. This is what you want to see. This is what you want to see. And you know what? I'm going to highlight this one because I thought Braden Schneider played very well too. I really did. I agree with Matt here. I thought Braden Schneider played very well. Ben Harper, whatever. He was kind of just there. He didn't do too much bad, so I'll take that. And then, you know what? Trouba is just, he wasn't a complete disaster tonight, but he wasn't good either. So it was just meh. He got walked by Matthews at the end there. Like, he just, he got absolutely walked. And instead of just trying to play the body, he goes for a hit and completely misses. How do you, why are you doing that with Austin Matthews with a 1-goal lead late in the third period? What are you thinking? Why? Just why? You don't do that. You just do not do that. Oh, yeah, and Harper was okay. He didn't hurt us. He didn't really help too much, but he didn't hurt. And that's all they need right now until they can get an upgrade on that third pairing. It's just somebody who doesn't hurt them there. Libor Hayek has hurt at times. So we're going to move on from that. And this is the last one I have. Is despite being outplayed at times, the Rangers limited Toronto's chances. At one point I think it was heading into the third period, the big four for Toronto, or the Fantastic Four as they were referred to, combined for a total of 2 shots. That's really good. That's really good. The Rangers played a real good defensive game tonight, if that's what they were doing to them. So hats off to the Rangers. Hats off to Gerard Gallant for having the game plan to really shut down this team. And hats off to the players and Igor for following through, playing tough defense, and playing near full 60 minutes. Because Michael, you're right on the money. We played about 56 minutes of it. Yeah, I would say that one shift that Toronto had where they had the puck in the Rangers zone for almost, almost 3 minutes. It was like 2 minutes and 40 seconds or something like that. You know what? Sometimes a shift like that is going to happen where you get tired and you get caught and you just can't move. So great on the Rangers for really playing almost a full 60 minutes. Jeff, Trocheck was really good. And you got to remember on VC's empty net goal, Trocheck is the one that gets down, dives head first on that faceoff to make sure that he gets that puck win. He gets the puck back to Trouba. Trouba gets it up along the boards, and then VC gets it and then goes down and scores the empty netter. So, and just to go back to that shift with Toronto, even though it happened and they were running around with the puck, they only got 2 shots out of that whole 2 minutes and 40 seconds. 2 shots on net. 2. And they had the puck for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So, yes, the Rangers were getting in the shooting lanes, blocking shots and limiting chances and keeping them out of the high danger areas. And you know what? If the NHL wants to fumble around with the missed shot totals and favor Toronto, whatever. I don't care. The Rangers got the job done. Yeah, David, I like this one. Imagine how good Schneider would be if he wasn't stuck with AHL D-men or seventh caliber defensemen. So, hey, Peter, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, we were all in panic mode, but these are some not even just quality teams, but they're quality wins. The win against the Devils was the gutsiest win I'd seen all year from them. And then they follow it up with a win like this, another very gutsy win. Strong defensive game. How you're going to have to play come playoff time. So, I love it. I'll go through the bookmark comments. They played well defensively. But yes, this was the comment I was referring to before about breaking out of the zone late in games. Fox and Lindgren made a few plays to make sure that they did. I agree with you overall. The rest of the team kind of needs to be a little bit better. They're a little sloppy getting out of the zone in terms of their breakouts. So, yes, I do agree there. And back to Matt again. They need to ride the momentum, beat the Flyers and Blackhawks. Hey, Flyers just beat the Devils tonight. Let's not sleep on Philly, everybody. Let's not sleep on them. Go to Dave here. Rangers are 5-0 since Trouba threw his helmet in the Chicago game. That's the stat of the day. Dan Whitaker, I want Gallant to show some line consistency. I, and every Rangers fan, from your lips to the hockey god's ears. Please, Gerard, just give them the chance. I already highlighted Michael's 56-minute comment. So, yes, Kurt, 5 in a row. 5 in a row. So, love it. Going to go through, see what the others. Davey asks, do I think we can trade Kravtsov or something? Possibly. I would like to hold on to him and see what he can do. But I do have a feeling he might end up getting traded. So I agree. Michael Kravtsov looked pretty good. I hope he stays in the lineup. And Wade Blay, yeah. I just don't think Sammy Blay has done enough. And I know he's coming back from a knee injury, and it might take some time for him to get that speed back. But at this point, Kravtsov's been the better player when he's been in the lineup. Matt says, when Matthews skated towards Trouba, I got scared. You and I both. My heart went into my stomach. I felt like I was watching Bure in the final minutes of Game 7 of the 94 Stanley Cup Finals again. What's the NHL record for longest win streak by a team in the season? I think it's 17 games. I know the Devils had a 13-game win streak. The Penguins had a 15-game win streak in 93. I think it's 17 though. So let's go through some of these other comments that. Oh, that's awesome, Dan. Yeah, I know. I guess you were at that Legends signing. I saw some people on Twitter that were at that. Sean said Trouba made 2 mistakes in the first one. He took up a penalty, trying to cover up his turnover. Yep. And second was the first goal. No, that Trouba. I'm not going to fault Trouba for the goal. I'm not. Should have been a penalty. Should have been a penalty against Pierre Engvall. Find a way to keep Hedl. JT, I'm with you, buddy. I'm with you. Find a way to do it. Make it happen. Like the song says, whatever it takes. Oh, man. Yeah, this is a great night, though. I'm having a great night. I ended up for like a birthday Christmas gift. My aunt and my uncle sent me a cooler full of Omaha steak stuff. I had the steaks thawing in the fridge. I'm probably gonna grill that tomorrow. It's got some steaks, some burgers, some hot dogs, chicken, and then potatoes and some like apple dessert thing, which sounds really good. I can't wait to have all that. So I'm gonna start that up probably tomorrow night, and then this happens, and then where are my Yankee fans at? Because we got Carlos Rodon, baby. Welcome to the Bronx. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Kurt, you think you're hungry, buddy? I had dinner and I got myself some ice cream during the Ranger game, and I want to eat that stuff so bad. Oh my God. Let's go. Carlos Rodon. The Yankees can't be done this offseason, though. He'll look good on the injury. Let's get out of here. Take your negative energy somewhere else, David. Yeah, so the Yankees, they still need a bat. And B-Rod, I heard the big rumor. I heard Tatis. I don't believe it. It makes sense in a way, but I don't think I really don't think they're going to do that. No wonder why you're saying, oh, he'll look good on the injured list. Go, get out of here. Be happy that you guys might be getting rid of James McCann because you signed Omar Narvaez. Trout? No, I haven't heard anything about Trout, and I doubt Trout happens. And where is this coming from? Because I haven't seen it anywhere. I think JD Martinez to Queens is going to happen. I really do think that's going to happen. I think the Mets would be awesome to it would be awesome for the Mets to get JD Martinez, because I think that's the bat that they need to protect guys in the lineup like Lindor and Alonso and so on. I mean, you like McNeil, JD Davis and stuff like that. Names like that have been trying to protect those guys for years, but JD Martinez is the real deal. He's the real deal. I would have to see this be right because I haven't seen it anywhere. So, Michael, if we can only move Trouba, I don't see Trouba or Kreider wait. And you know what? Kreider ain't gonna wave right now. That's not happening. And Trouba will probably be moved after the no movement clause. And there's no way that I can see. There's no way that I can see the Rangers not moving Trouba at this point. He's been so bad. And he's never going to live up to that $8 million contract. They're going to need cap space. They are going to be in a cap crunch. And the only way to really to get rid of that would be to move that $8 million contract, because you cannot have a guy that's playing like a number 6, number 7 defenseman making $8 million against cap. He's just that bad. David says he honestly doesn't like having 2 40-year-olds as the aces, and the Mets need a third baseman, a center, and probably a left fielder. So I read about trading Panarin, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't see that happening. Panarin's not getting moved. They're not going to lose Lafreniere. Lafreniere is not going to. He's not going to cost that much. It's not going to cost that much. Lafreniere hasn't done enough to cost what like some people think that he's going to cost. And yeah, you know, when you see these guys getting signed to these big deals like early on because they want to try to get ahead of him. I don't see that happening. I don't think those other guys, the difference between those other guys and the Rangers young guys is the fact that those other guys have produced enough to a point where you could see that coming. The Rangers guys have not done that yet. Yeah, and this is it. Laffy should be cheap. Hedl might be a problem. And I think Keandre Miller, the offensive numbers aren't there. I just don't think that they're there. Yeah, you know, I think I get that people might think that he could get a Brady Shea type contract, but you got to remember, Brady Shea put up 39 points in his rookie year. And when you sign these deals, that's what they look at. They look at points. So, hey, you know what? If they keep winning games, Patrick Kane might become an option. He might. Keandre Miller is not going anywhere. Stop. It's not happening. Stop. Miller and Lafreniere, they're coming off entry-level contracts that they didn't produce highly on. Oh, you guys are crazy. Yes, I am a diehard Yankee fan. I am I'm happy so far. But they need to do more. I can tell you right now, Barclay Goodrow is probably going to get moved. Barclay Goodrow is probably gone in the offseason. They're not going to keep him around making $3.6 million. They're probably going to go younger. Yeah, you know what? This is the reason why I could see them not getting Kane. Because I think that they would have to extend him if they got him. And I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, I don't think Sammy Blais is going to be a Ranger after this season, Tomas. Yeah, John, I'm with you here. Miller's not going to command more than Lindgren. The only reason why they might give him more somehow is because they want to lock him down long term to a very, very team-friendly deal going forward. I don't think you really need to attach a pick to Goodrow to get rid of him. Trouba, yes, but not Goodrow. Blais and his $1.5 million, they're probably gone. Hayek has got to be gone. And thank you, Sean. 4 Horsemen for life. Love it. And Hamid shirts, these are some of the most comfortable shirts ever. And I've had this shirt for a few years now, actually. I originally got it in gray, but it ended up being like too small for me. And then I ended up getting it in this color because I thought this color was awesome. Just I love this logo. I think it's one of the coolest logos professional wrestling has ever produced. So, no, not now. But after that no movement clause ends, I think he could go to Detroit, David. Oh, Bailey, I hope to God you end up acing this exam. I don't like being the bad influence here, Bailey. I don't like that. But yes, good luck on that exam. I hope you do well. Hope to hear good news about it. Depending on which defenseman that the Rangers move, can I see a Key Fox pair in the future? Lindgren stays long term, no. I think that Miller and Fox actually I think it could be a really good pairing. Oh, they do make NHL shirts. They just need to make a little more. So I don't care what type of voodoo magic jury has to pull. Trouba has to be traded. Yes, I totally agree, Matt. B-Rye, why do you not want Fox and Miller together? I'm actually a little curious to hear this. Tomas, hope you did well in your final, by the way. Oh, man. Yeah, I hear Arizona's a great place to live, too. Hey, Jake, what do you think about living in Arizona and playing at the Mullet? That would be interesting. Yeah, I Lindy is a more stay-at-home. Okay. Yeah. Bailey, they are building a new arena. I don't know when it's going to be done, but they are building a new arena. David says Phoenix is the new Florida. Oh, God. Trouba and Nemeth. Perfect deep pair for Arizona. Oh, yeah. Okay, because it's dry heat. Yeah, I would take the dry heat over the humidity. There has to be beer in the stream. I mean, you can have a beer if you'd like. I normally don't drink during the week unless I'm like out. Excuse me. So what's a worse D pair? Trouba Nemeth or Jones Johnson in Chicago? Probably Trouba Nemeth. At least Seth Jones can do something offensively. Hey, beer, who do you think is hosting this, Marc? Nill's gone. The time machine needs some adjustments. Okay. Davey asks, who is my most hated Ranger defenseman? Wow. That's interesting. I'm going to throw some names at you from the past here. Sylvain Lefebvre was up there for me because he came over and he was just terrible. And I know he didn't cost much back then, but he was just terrible defensively. And he played a ton of minutes, and he was supposed to be this very good defensive defenseman that was supposed to come in and help. And he was just awful for the Rangers. Stefan Quintal was really bad. Dave Karpa was really bad. Dale Purinton, because he often took a lot of dumb penalties and put the Rangers in bad positions, and he was just awful. He was really just a fighter. Wade Redden was definitely really bad too, because he just ended up terrible. Then you have Marc Malik was another one that was really bad. Kind of hard, really, to say my most. And no, and Dale Purinton wasn't even that great of a fighter, no. So my most hated Ranger defenseman, though, I don't even know if I could say Redden, just because of the fact that he was so bad that he ended up getting demoted, and I didn't have to deal with him after that. Wow. Pody was really bad defensively. He had that one good year in 2003, and the worst part was that he was traded for Mike York, and everybody loved Mike York, and the fly line was great together, and that just really screwed things up for the Rangers. So, I don't know. I think I might have to go with Lefebvre. I hated Lefebvre. I really did. I hated his guts. I couldn't stand him. Couldn't stand him at all. And it felt like every time a goal was scored, he was out there. Every time. So I think I'm going to have to go with Lefebvre. I remember the checkmates. Nedved, Hlavich, and Dvorak. And Dvorak's 4-goal game against the Islanders in, March, I think, 2001. The fly line actually had a longer run than 2 weeks, but it was like the first half of the 2001-2002 season that they were really good. Then Lindros got concussed in San Jose in December of 2001. It was Mark Smith that hit him, and he just wasn't the same after that. They traded York just days after they got Pavel Bure, and they traded York for Pody. And that was the end of the fly line, because Theo Fleury had already gone into substance abuse. And yes, they almost made the playoffs. Lindros, Bure, yes, that was deadline Bure. 12 goals and 20 points in 12 games. And Bure had 2 hat tricks. He had 2 hat tricks in like less than a month. It was ridiculous how good Bure was for that team. He was so good. If they would have had him for the full year, he probably would have scored 50-plus goals for them. David apparently hated Mike Keenan. I know a lot of people who hated Mike Keenan, because Keenan pushed buttons and pushed buttons and pushed buttons and benched Brian Leetch. Told Brian Leetch they would trade him for Chris Chelios. Started up a rumor in the New York Post. All this other stuff. And just, yeah. Keenan made the goalies hate him. Keenan made the team hate him. But what really derailed that 01-02 Ranger team was when Chris Tamer hit Richter in the head with that slap shot in Atlanta in February of 02. And then Dan Blackburn came in. You mean Mike Keane, not Mike Keenan. Keane, Keane. Yeah, who we ended up letting go to Dallas. And he won a Stanley Cup in Dallas. Yeah, they collided with each other in practice. And then ended LaFontaine's career. That was his final concussion. Yeah, that was some bad times. I remember those. They brought in Brian Skrudland and Mike Keane, and they thought that was going to help change everything. When did Richter get what against Edmonton? I'm not really sure of what you're asking here, B-Rye. Yeah, Blackburn wasn't that bad. He just couldn't carry in the he couldn't carry the Rangers to the playoffs in 2002 as a rookie. The fractured skull was actually November of 2002. So it was November of 2002, and Todd Marchand went through the crease and kneed him in the head on accident. And that was the end of Mike Richter's career. And then they ended up trading for Mike Dunham from Nashville. Mike Dunham helped. Was pretty good, was good at times with them, and then just couldn't do it. The shot to the side of the face mask was Chris Tamer against Atlanta, and that was in Atlanta. That wasn't good. Yeah, that mask wasn't heavy duty enough. You're talking about Al Montoya, Davey. Al Montoya never suited up for the Rangers in a regular season game. He was traded. He ended up playing for the Islanders, Florida, a few other teams in the NHL. I meant to go comment this one here. The injury that derailed us in the 2015 was when playoffs was when McDonough hit Zuccarello in the head. Yeah, McDonough was also the one that injured Lundqvist with his stick. Ryan McDonough had a real great run of hurting people, and then he got hurt. He broke his ankle and played on a broken ankle in the playoffs. And he wasn't the same against Tampa. So, tell you right now, Zuccarello would absolutely help. He would absolutely help right now. No, Davey, Al Montoya was not the same draft that we got Lundqvist. Al Montoya was a 6th overall pick in 2004. Lundqvist was the 205th overall pick in 2000. Two completely different drafts. Yes, Zuccarello is playing really good in Minnesota. He's meshed well with Kaprizov. He really has. And Zuccarello, the great part about Zuccarello is just that his game doesn't depend on speed. He's smart. He's gritty. He's a skilled playmaker. I wish the Rangers could have kept him. Because that line with him, Kreider, and Zibanejad would be awesome together. He's got 30 points in 29 games. He had 79 points the year before in 70 games. Then he had 35 points the year before that in 42 games. So, yes, Matt Zuccarello was definitely missed in New York. David, no, it's really not. It's not. That's actually an underpay. So Zuccarello in Minnesota, it's really not if you look at it. So Zuccarello in Minnesota has 181 points in 206 games. Now, if you take out that 37 points in 65 games that first year, where there was no Kaprizov, where he really didn't have anyone to play with, he's been a point per game. He's had 144 games, 141 games, his 144 points since Kaprizov has come over to the NHL. And you know what? In New York, he would probably be putting up similar numbers in New York. If he was playing with Kreider and Zibanejad, they'd have the right winger that they needed. They really would. You know what? Honestly, if Minnesota wouldn't deal him back, but I would take him back in a heartbeat. If Minnesota retained half on that for however many years he has left, I think he's got like 3 years left. No, you know what? I don't necessarily think that they would have had to pass on Brett. You could pass on Trouba and still get Panarin that way. Oh no, Zuccarello's only got 1 year after this, and he's got a no movement clause and a modified no trade clause. So he has a 10-team no trade list this year and next year. And I highly doubt that the Rangers would be on one of those teams on his 10-team no trade list. So that's really interesting. Yeah. You know what, David? Maybe they would trade him due to their cap situation, because their cap situation's awful. Their cap situation is terrible. And yeah, I'm with Matt on this one. They probably wouldn't retain any salary with all the dead cap hit from Parise and Suter, which basically put them in this situation. But they have, let's see here. They have projected $3.299 million in cap space. Do they have anybody coming off the books this year? Because they have Ryan Reeves and Freddie Gaudreau coming off the books, and Freddie Gaudreau is going to command a decent raise. You've got Matthew Boldy, who's going to command a good raise. Sam Steele is probably going to command a good raise. I'd rather have Zuccarello than Kane. I'd rather have Zuccarello than Kane. That's just me. I'd rather have Zuccarello. You get a guy that's still good at even strength, better defensive winger. Loved in New York. He's got friends here. I would definitely take Zuccarello back in a heartbeat, and I wouldn't think twice about going with Zuccarello over Kane. Because Kane, you got to re-sign him. Zuccarello, his next deal will probably be a downtick from $6 million that he's made. I don't think Brock Besser's happening. Ooh, this is actually a really good. I like this deal, actually. You know what? I hate to give up on Kravtsov just because, but if you're going to give up on Kravtsov, a guy with term beyond this year would be ideal. And if Minnesota retained maybe like $2 million on that to make it easier for the Rangers, I would be more than okay with this deal. I would be more than okay with that deal. Oof. Tom, what's going on, man? Trouba lets a player throw a stick again, and it finally results in a goal against. You know what, B-Rye? I think they might ask for more, too. I think they might ask for a first-round pick on top of that. Sean Statler says if Zuccarello came back and buy his jersey on that day. I should manifest this just so you have to buy his jersey. I should. I really should. You said this before, Michael. Drury needs to get over his bad habit of doubling down and re-signing mistakes or refusing to move them. He didn't double down on them if he got rid of them. So probably going to do like another, I would say, 5 minutes. So who's the Rangers are getting? Copp? What? Who are you talking about? Rangers getting Andrew Copp for? Yeah, and he traded Ryan Reeves. So I mean, I really don't see where he's doubling down on mistakes. You know what? You can't say that he's doubled down on Blay, though, because Blay got hurt. Blay was actually playing well before he got hurt. So I can't really say that he doubled down on that. To me, I think you're reaching there, Mike. I'm sorry. But I think you're reaching there. Hayek, okay. I don't know if that's his. Maybe that's him. Maybe. But maybe they think that they just needed some sort of depth. I don't know. I don't think of Hayek as depth. I don't think he's good. But yeah, you want to blame Drury for the initial trade? Fine. Oh, the guy who manifested Copp was John Lee. John's a regular. I don't know. I don't know where he is tonight, but John was the one who manifested it. Sean Statler manifested Ryan Reeves, and Ryan Reeves ended up happening. No, you're right about this, Kurt. You're not gonna come out in every trade. Yeah, buddy. There you go, Tomas. Alexa, play Ice Cube. It was a good day. Yeah, it was always an awful trade. You're not going to win every trade, but yeah, it was always an awful trade. The Buchnevich, you know what? They just didn't get enough back for Buchnevich. I'm not gonna beat the dead horse on that, though. We've already discussed that ad nauseum. Excuse me. So I've got a few more minutes. Get your last comments and questions in. Yeah, I listen. I agree. A first rounder would have been perfect, but it's already gone. They got a first rounder for Nils, and I didn't think they were going to get a first round draft pick for Nils Lundqvist. Like I thought they would have maybe gotten second, like Elias Anderson, but they got a first round pick for Nils. It's pretty good. You know what? Even if it's late, still, Nils Lundqvist was a late first-round pick. No, I don't think it's just that, David. I think people are angry because they traded a guy who was close to a point per game and was playing really well and was finally a homegrown star forward level player. Buchnevich probably would have been the first Ranger forward drafted since Tony Amonte to break 30 goals and 60 points for the team. So, listen, it's a multitude of reasons as to why people are angry about the Buchnevich trade. And Blay got hurt. And you know what? Listen, I understand why Drury wanted to see what happened with Blay, because Blay played well before the injury. But I think at this point, yeah, you have to give up on it. You have to. It happens. And you could trade Blay at the deadline to a team and see if someone wants to take him on. But at this point, you can't bring him back. No, but again, Kurt, Nils was a very, very late round pick from Tampa. You got to remember that. That pick was very, very late. Yeah, 28th round, 28th overall pick. The problem with the Rangers is that they valued the wrong guys in that deal for McDonough. They valued the wrong guys. Instead of going after Cal Foote and Taylor Radish and Boris Kachuk and all those other guys that they could have gotten, because Braden Point and Mikhail Sergachev are not being moved. Let's be real here. That was never the case. That was never going to happen. They should have been going after those guys, not settling for Brett Howden and Libor Hayek. No. And if Tampa didn't want to give up those guys, should have told Yzerman to go to hell and should have traded McDonough in the offseason, where you would have gotten more for him. You would have gotten more because more teams would have been involved. At the deadline, the only teams that are going to trade for a player like that at the deadline are contenders. Teams that are in the playoff race. Teams that have a chance at the Stanley Cup. In the offseason, you're going to look at a team that, that might be a bubble team that thinks that, oh, hey, if we get Ryan McDonough, that could push us into the playoffs. Or a young developing team that wants a good veteran defenseman, an upper-level defenseman like McDonough was at the time, and say, oh, you know what? We can use a number one guy like McDonough. That'll help us get to that next level. Those teams come into play in the offseason. They're not in play at the trade deadline. Gorton, I don't know what he was doing. He should have just waited. If he didn't get what he was wanting from Tampa and from Yzerman, should have just told him to scratch. Okay, goodbye. Come talk to me again in the offseason when you're willing to give up something. Yeah, and they didn't need to include Miller in that deal. There was a stupid, stupid deal. Gorton absolutely got bent over in that deal. Bent over. And then he signed Trouba to that dumb contract. Like, why? Why? Ugh. Just a lot of stupidity there. So. But that is going to end it for me tonight. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate it. Great win tonight for the Rangers. And if you're a Yankee fan, you're also very happy because we got Carlos Rodon. So great night for New York sports. And we got to talk some good hockey. We got to watch a Ranger win 5 in a row. Let's just hope that they keep this up. And now you have Philadelphia and Chicago. Those games are on Saturday and Sunday. 7 p.m. against Philly on Saturday, 7:30 against Chicago on Sunday. So let's take these 2 games. Let's make that a 7-game win streak, and let's really turn this season around. So good night, everybody. Let's go Rangers. And thanks for joining again. I really appreciate it. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. And again, Manscaped, code BAH for Big Apple Hockey for 20% off for free shipping. It's a good Christmas gift. Good night, everybody.